These delicious apple pie bars are made with freeze-dried apples and have a buttery shortbread crust that also doubles as a streusel topping. They're so easy. The crust is pressed into the pan, and then for the apple pie filling, it's going to bubble away on the stove until it's nice and tender. Then these are going to get baked until golden brown. So you've got all the fantastic fall flavors of apple pie, but you can pick it up and eat it like a bar. It's perfect. Well, hi there, everyone. My name is Kareth. I'm a wife, a mom, an author, and a cook. On this channel, I like to create recipes using freeze-dried food. Sometimes it's completely shelf-stable, like a meal or a mix in a jar. Other times, I combine freeze-dried with fresh, but all the time, it's delicious. I'm here to help people who have freeze-dried food on their shelves to know how to cook with it. I test out recipes so you don't have to. Welcome to the Freeze-Dried Foodie. This recipe is actually based on my blueberry pie bars recipe that is from my first cookbook. I will link to that down below in case you're interested. But here it is. It's fall, and I love everything fall flavored, and I'm a huge fan of anything apple related. So here we are making some apple pie bars, and I just love how these come together. They're easy to make because of the type of crust that I use, and it's just so delicious. Now you are going to need a good amount of softened butter here for this recipe, but other than that, you could technically put this together as a dessert in a jar. That's the way I did my blueberry pie bars. So if you want to make this in advance and put like the crust in one jar and then the fruit pie filling in another jar, you could do that. But just know that you do need a good amount of butter when you make this recipe. Let's put together the crust, which is also the crumble topping. You'll need a large bowl, and then into the bowl is going to go some flour, some powdered sugar, just a little bit of kosher salt, and then a good amount of butter. As in, this is definitely not a diet recipe, y'all. There's 10 tablespoons of butter is what I put in to start with, and I end up adding another tablespoon later on because I just thought it was a little on the dry side. So yeah, you are going to need probably a couple sticks of butter here. Now I got in there with my pastry blender. You could do this with a couple of forks. You could do this with just your hands. It's totally up to you. At some point, you might just get your hands in there and kind of press it together. And if it does seem a little bit dry, you might add another tablespoon or so more of butter. And then get that all incorporated, squeeze it together. It should hold together. And then it's ready. This part is super easy and it's fun because you're just going to press that into your dish. So I've got a 9x9 cake pan. Put about 2/3 of that mixture down in the bottom of your cake pan and pat it into place. Just press it down. That's all you need to do. With the remainder of that dough, just put that on the top there. We're going to refrigerate that and get that butter nice and cold until we're ready to assemble the bars. All right, let's make the apple pie filling. Into a saucepan, you're going to need probably 3.5 or so cups of freeze-dried apples. The reason I'm making this the way I'm making it is because I did not plan on doing this recipe. I needed a dessert like at the last minute. And y'all, I wasn't going to go to the grocery store. All I was going to do was open up my pantry and figure out what do I have in freeze-dried form that I would want to make for this event. Anyway, I landed on apple pie, but didn't really want to do the whole double crust thing. And anyway, so I thought, oh, I could just use my own recipe, the blueberry pie bars, but make it apple pie bars. This will be fantastic. This is a last minute thing. I make my own apple pie filling anytime I do this anyway, because it's easy. It's so much better than anything you can buy in a can. I'm not even kidding. Look how easy this is. I mean, you just put the apples in there, add a little sugar, a little spice, a little pinch of salt, add some water, and let it bubble away on the stove for like 10 minutes, maybe 12. It's that easy, okay? So there's no reason not to make your own apple pie filling. If you have freeze-dried apples, you can do this. Oh, and I forgot to mention, The reason you're seeing some peeling in there, some apple peeling, is because I ran out of Granny Smiths and had to supplement with the Fujis. It does work. I prefer the texture of the Granny Smiths, but yeah, that's why you're seeing peeling. While that cools, I'm going to kind of zhuzh up my crumble topping. I added a couple tablespoons of brown sugar, a little bit more flour just to make this stretch, some cinnamon, you could do more apple pie spice, whatever you want, and then I'm just going to crumble in that dough. Now you don't have to do any of this. You could crumble that dough straight on top. You don't have to do this, but you can if you want to. You could also add like a 1/4 cup of oats. You could add some chopped pecans. You could make this into whatever you want it to be. All right, now that my apple pie filling has cooled off just a little bit, I'm gonna go ahead and spread it on that bottom crust, and you want just kind of an even layer. And if you don't have quite enough, you could add a little bit of applesauce to that. That's what I did. I added just a little bit of applesauce because I thought I'm not gonna have enough filling. And then all you have to do is sprinkle on that crumble topping. And then you're gonna bake this at 350 for about 35 minutes. And you want it to be nice and golden brown on the top, and you want the bottom crust to be good and golden as well, because you want that to have a nice crunch to it. About 35 minutes is all you're gonna need, and this is what it looks like when it comes out. I think it's gorgeous. And let me just tell you, my kitchen smells like a bakery. The cinnamon, the apples, the buttery shortbread. Oh, y'all, it's so perfect. All right, after this cools completely, then you can slice it. And I did 9 slices, so 3 by 3. You could do 16 if you sliced it 4 by 4. But those 3 by 3 slices are like really good size apple pie bars. And I love the convenience of a bar. There's just something about being able to pick it up and eat it with your hands. I love that. Of course, you can eat it with a fork, eat it however you want to eat it. But it is really nice to take it in bar form because it's just really easy to serve. Like, these are very portable. And if you do take these and share them, everybody's going to love them. All right, let's talk about the flavor, okay? Those Granny Smith apples that I put in there, oh my word, they're tart. I love Granny Smith apples, okay? I did supplement with some Fujis because I ran out of Granny Smiths. The combination of apples works great, but I do suggest you put at least half of that amount of whatever amount of apples you end up using. I would suggest at least half of those needs to be Granny Smith because of the tartness. This is not an overly sweet dessert. The tartness is wonderful. It's balanced against the sweetness in the crumble topping, and there's that powdered sugar that's in the crust. There's crunchiness from the crust. There's a soft, almost gumminess in the apples, but it's very good when it's paired with the crunchy crumble topping. It's tart, it's sweet, it's cinnamony, that buttery crust, the buttery shortbread crust is phenomenal. You're gonna love it. And you're gonna love the texture of being able to pick those bars up and just crunch on down. It's so satisfying. I hope you can see the apples in there and see the little flecks of cinnamon. So pretty. When Drew and I first got married, he told me that his very favorite dessert of all time was apple pie. And y'all, I did not know how to make an apple pie. So I had to learn. But ever since having like freeze-dried food on my pantry shelf, I learned how to use the freeze-dried apples in my baking, and it has just been such a game changer. I will never buy canned pie filling ever again. It's just not near as good as homemade, and homemade is made really easy when you have freeze-dried fruits. Well, all right, y'all. Thank you so much for watching. I would appreciate it if you hit the like button and left me a comment below. That certainly does help my channel. And if you're thinking about doing any shopping on Amazon this holiday season, if you don't mind, I'd really appreciate it if you clicked on my Freeze-Dried Foodie storefront on Amazon. All you have to do is open one of my videos, look in the description box, and click on that link, and then, look and see what I have. Even if you don't buy that exact product, if you buy something else, that still does benefit me. And I really do appreciate it, guys. Thank you. I have a verse for you for today that will hopefully get you in the mood for Thanksgiving. It's 1 Thessalonians 5:18, which says, "Give thanks in all circumstances, for this is God's will for you in Christ Jesus." If I ever need a reminder as to what God's will is, it's to be thankful. Well, I hope you'll have a wonderful day and a very happy Thanksgiving. Until next time, be blessed and keep thriving.